Welcome back to the Yaffee program. Always here on News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. It's a revolution in common sense here on the show. Now, earlier we were talking about the issue of flock cameras. It's become a big issue across the country. But yes, here in Alabama, you have several local lawmakers who want to get rid of them. So one person weighed in and said, I think it should fall under unreasonable search statute, talking about the cameras. Unreasonable to track a person's activity if that person doesn't have reasonable suspicion committing a crime. I do think the public has a reasonable expectation of privacy as far as not being surveyed where they go, where they are, when they leave, whenever they are on the road. Just because they're in public doesn't mean you can't expect some privacy. Definitely Big Brother taking it too far. So just a reminder, the flock cameras, they only monitor, it really just reads the license plate and the type of car. So it monitors where your car is going, but it doesn't necessarily monitor everything you do as a person. I guess maybe the technology could get there in the future, but once again, this is a slippery slope argument where, you know, it's not really for that now, but the technology's there, so it could be monitored in the future, so to speak. So maybe you agree or disagree with that. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to speak with State Representative Ernie Yarbrough, who's been very much against them, and see if maybe he can convince me to be much more against them. Real quick, I know someone you're definitely not going to be against, my good friend at Jay's Appliance Outlet. That's because their deals are amazing. They have delivery options as well, so you can get your appliance delivered fast and hassle-free. And 0% interest financing, flexible monthly payments designed for your budget. So if you need to upgrade your home appliances, discover top categories with unbeatable outlet savings. And they get new inventory in all the time, so you're going to get some great deals. And I keep telling you about their luxury kitchen collections on sale right now. Exclusive savings on Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and GE appliances. Whether you're talking about a premium refrigerator, ranges, and cooking solutions from trusted brands, I really do want you to discover exceptional quality, innovative design, and limited time savings through their collection. So go to Jay's Appliance Outlet today. They're located off 72 in Athens. You see the sign out there. They posted another big sign that just says up to 60% off new appliances because that's what they offer. But you can find out more at the website, jaysapplianceoutlet.com, or give them a call. You'll talk to a real person, maybe even Jay himself. If you dial pound 250, say the keywords Jay's Appliance Outlet. When you do, let them know you heard about it from Yaffee. All right, that time of the show, once again, we have the Yaffee program Rewind. Sorry, I had to hit the VCR there a little bit. You know, sometimes it just acts up. It's old technology. You just got to punch it and then it works again. But it is that time of the show once again where I remind you, if you missed any of it live, the podcast will be up on the website at WVNN.com or anywhere you subscribe, anywhere you listen, anywhere you get your podcasts. So at the beginning of the show today, we were talking about Woke 2.0. Yeah, the sequel to Woke 1. The reason why this has come up is AOC Ock is out there, and she said Woke 1 was crazy. Go and play the AOC cut for me, Walker.
She's moved away from it, and I have a local city councilman that has this saying Woke 1 was crazy.
Woke 1 was crazy. Okay, that's
and I think that what's important is that we have to assess what
was it. I mean, did the movement go too far with some of those positions? I mean, you briefly supported the idea of defunding the police.
Well, I think that during this time and especially during COVID, there was a huge opening of the Overton window. We were shut down. There was some of the highest unemployment rates that we have seen because of those shutdowns. Yeah. And I think that the doors were really open in trying to entertain any and every policy that was going to get us to a better place. And I actually think that the discussions that were had in that time were quite fruitful. I think that when we talk about crime today, it's fundamentally different than the way that we talked about crime in bringing crime down, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that we all share in the goals of having as low a crime rate as possible. I think that, during lockdown, of course, rhetoric in that time is not rhetoric that we would use today. And I'm grateful that these candidates have the opportunity to present who they are to their electorate and what they're campaigning on in this moment.
So Scott Jennings, who I say is the voice of reason of CNN, had a pretty good response to some of this. Go and play the Scott Jennings cut for me.
So I noted AOC's comment this weekend. Woke 1 was crazy. Let me introduce you to Woke 2, Electric Boogaloo. This is the craziest sequel in the history of politics. If you think what they were selling back in 2020, abolish police or defund the police, was crazy, now it's abolish police, abolish prisons, abolish border, abolish the U.S. Senate, which really means abolish the U.S. Constitution. And it gets even crazier. Abolish Thanksgiving, because fundamentally they hate what the United States of America stands for. You cannot have a conversation about affordability with voters when you're out there saying, this country really is rotten at its core and it needs to be ripped out root and branch, which is exactly what these democratic socialists are doing. You can make all the happy, smiley videos you want, but until you solve the crazy problem of all of these supposed hot takes, how do you ever break through to average voters who are just looking for something normal? And the Democrats are saying, best we can do, cancel Thanksgiving. What do you say?
That sounds a lot.
So we talked a lot about that at the beginning of the show. The podcast is up. We had the Alabama bullet points as well, the top stories from around the state, including election results, because you had that special primary election that happened yesterday. So we had that. We also spoke with Stefan Padfield, had a column on free markets at the Daily Signal, so check that out. I talked about me getting a $15 burrito yesterday. Still wasn't $20. It was good. It was at Chipotle. So we talked about that. We also talked about the debate over flock cameras, and you have state representative who's probably going to be our next congressman, well, in District 2 in Alabama, Rep. Marcus, if I can get his name right. I still hear it 4 different ways, but he has become kind of against these flock cameras, or he's concerned about it. So play the Rep. Marcus cut for me.
Well, I believe in the Fourth Amendment, the right to privacy, and flock cameras do concern me. It's collecting data that never goes away. I understand that we need to make sure that we protect the citizens of this country from, under the Biden administration, people came across unvetted, 10, 20 million people, who knows how many. There was some bad people that came across the border, and we need to protect the citizens of this country. So I get the law enforcement side of that, but I also think that we have to protect the people's right to privacy under the Fourth Amendment.
So we had that big debate. It continues on. We'll talk more about that tomorrow on the show, but the podcast is up. Then I gave you some of the latest details on Iran, and I played this cut from retired General Jack Keane on the Strait of Hormuz. Play Jack Keane.
I think at times we underestimate where the Iranians really are in terms of where their head is. And we have a tendency to look at them in terms of what is the impact of the blockade doing to the economy? How much money are they losing every single day, every single month? Where is their currency in terms of its value? What's their inflation rate? These are all norms that we look at ourselves, and we look at them and say, my, this is absolutely devastating to them. At some point, they're going to fold their hand. But you got to understand where this...
All right, stop right there. So he basically says they don't cave to economic pressure like we would. We're going to have to force it open through the military. So I think he's right. We had What's Trending earlier as well. If you missed the show, the podcast is up. Thanks to Walker for producing today. And I will be back tomorrow at the same time. See you then.
It's the Yaffee Program on WVNN.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast.
I'm your host, Megan Klingenberg, and after interviewing so many dudes during this Men's World Cup, I'm so happy to be back with my U.S. Women's National Team players.
I know the U.S. Men's National Team has changed how I think about myself, how I think about being an American, how I think about being on a team.
It's 1 year out from that World Cup, and we're going to talk about the brightest prospects in U.S. soccer. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast, presented by Henkel. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Start your day with the morning jolt of Drake C. Toll.
See, now it's on demand. My podcast is kind of a radio thing, I think, but also it's a bit of a TV show, and it's about whatever I want it to be. It's listening live as it happened, when it happened, with the instant reaction.
Your home for talking sports.
We go back. The Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports Network. And there it will be, on demand, on your radio. Anywhere in the country, I'll see you there.
Westwood One Sports Talk, your home for Drake C. Toll. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.